Severed Heads is meant for a mature audience only. This program contains violent, sexual, and disturbing scenarios. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 1 of a 5-part series. Chapter 1, titled Convoluted. I have a convoluted constitution with a contradicting confidence. A constant con whose counterfeit with a complicated common sense. I counteract my cataracts with constant acts of caring tasks. To compensate with common law, I concentrate my consciousness. To comply, I must commit and conserve my carelessness. Though my hate will congregate and conjure, and I'll have no other choice but to take the world and conquer it. But my psyche is a cycle, a disorder that circles around the circumference that sits on my head. And when I'm sitting in bed, I imagine my psyche is recycled to reorder the silence that once surrounded my lacking confidence that I'd so heavenly dread. I would wish I were dead if my psyche surrendered its torturous vengeance that accumulated over the years of not giving a damn. I'm the product of crack parents and broken homes. I have a funny story to share. When I was 7 years old, I remember the Chicago blizzards and the ice crystal streets, the family drama and the drug deals. But on this particular evening, I couldn't sleep. It was midnight with the TV blasting. I walked in the living room, Mama and Papa both vast asleep. Crack smoke, marijuana, and vodka sodas soaking through my parents' veins. Papa snoring, I unhinged the Svedka from his bare cold hands and took a sip. Then another sip until the bottle was empty. I felt unraveling, like an avalanche. I walked out the front door and stood there like a mannequin. I began to disrobe, everything but my socks. I didn't even realize I was probably cold. The falling snow covered my eyes. I felt blind, like what's even a 7-year-old supposed to find. I walked down the road and saw the porch lights of our neighbor's home. Headlights in the driveway and a young woman I didn't recognize. I stood there for a minute before I said hello. She looked at me blankly before she took out her phone, got back in her car, and sped off. She was out of control and hit a light pole. Airbagged, deployed. She was motionless. Red and blue lights in the distance. I couldn't focus. I slowly walked on over through the snow-drenched streets and saw her twitching, blood in her eyes to match her red lipstick. I opened the passenger door and sat down on the torn bucket seats and noticed shell casings and magazines lying by my feet. I looked over, and she was silent as the night, until Sirens approached us and shined a flashlight in my eyes, and to no surprise, I immediately threw up and said, I think she's asleep, 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 I think she's asleep. It's safe to say, I'm a convoluted, maniacal monster. Come at me once and I'll show you I don't hide under beds or deep within closets. Even when I was a young boy, I didn't shy away from showing my foster parents I was possessed demonically with nothing angelic hiding inside my soulless body. I remember my juvenile delinquent days and my foster father telling me I was sick in the head and needed to see a doctor. I told him to shut the fuck up as I picked up a cast iron and showed him my real colors ranged from black to a couple of shades darker. I'm your favorite serial killer's favorite serial killer. Though I must admit, I pay homage to God who washed away an entire population. Me, on the other hand, I graduated slowly. After high school, I started with petty gas station robberies with a pistol I didn't intend to pull. That didn't last long. I was shot at, with a bullet that grazed me. I fell to the floor, blood gushing everywhere. I heard a cocked-back shotgun. I ran to the door. He missed wide, and again I'm on all fours. Ducking under the counter, I heard him swear.
Where the fuck are you? The police are almost here.
He's right. I have to decide right now if I'm a caged man, a dead man, or a man who takes control. I take out my pistol and blindly empty the clip. I hear him reload, and I know it's my chance to bull rush him and take control of the situation. Tug of war, winner gets salvation. It's mine now, bitch, as I forced him into submission. I bludgeoned his face repeatedly until his screams seemed to cease. Bateman in Psycho. I was baptized in blood, you see. Blood, you see. Blood, you see. Blood, you see. So where do I fit in? It's pretty obvious all this shit is psychotic. Catacombs are cancerous to the human mindset. It's ridiculous the amount we articulate our misfortune and mourn our disorders to further torture oneself from reliving the horrors. You can survive pandemics, but die in a car crash. A beautiful death, like in a picture book, the ones you would read as a kid. Sky's the limit when you dream big. Minutes ticking, wears thin. Hospital bills, drug addiction, family drama chimes in. Poison potion the size of an ocean. Drink it up and lose all focus. The contrast between being a comatose patient and a damn soldier is simply eliminating fear. Most people try to fix every broken moment instead of what they should be doing, which is simply move forward. But they don't, which is why people like me thrive. We tear down the system, rebuild it our way, and watch every single person on Earth die. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Sirens. Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless. Part 1 continued of a 5-part series. Chapter 2 is titled Sirens. We're all nickeled and dimed, kicked in the spine, eyes wide, tricked in a cycle of lies. Skies shut, back breaks, tear down the floodgates. Tears permeate my flesh and represent a permanent state in the forecast. How can we change when our 2 cents stay the same? Play the same game and pray tomorrow will be the day the rain ceases and the sun freezes into place and we're all believers. I'm a heathen for that reason. In God we trust. Change must be our demons. If we believe angels protect us from those who follow evil, we might as well swallow semen, choke and gag on God's penis and wish currency had a different meaning. Vocal cords are bleeding, spit out the blood and mumble your true feelings. We're all hypocrites, crucified by the thought of being sacrificed, crossed out by the crosses choking our necks and symbolizing humanity as another useless creation. Not me though, not ever. I'm a cross between Satan and the Dalai Lama, a rare breed of species, immortal to those mere mortals who think they run the New World Order. Take the master Freemason and enslave him by locking him up in my basement. Cut him up into bits and pieces and feed him his own being until his blood runs out and his stomach lining erupts from the acid reflux. We conflict with killers and call them convicts, throw them in prison and let a cage fight decide who's a little bitch in shackles and who's a legit assassin. Even though my kind should be knighted for having the presents to gift wrap the peasants in presents and send them to heaven and call it a gift from me to God, assemble the casket and throw it aside. For tonight is the night I dine. I approach the half-mast flag just before that raggedy rundown convenience store. Who's that mad mask man? It's me, ready to grab all that cash and run. Knife in hand, I like the aesthetic, that personal connection you get when you watch your victim die slowly in front of you. They fall to the floor, you close their eyes, and you lay them to rest. I walk in casually and immediately shout to the cashier to put every single cent he has inside the bag. I tell him to use his senses and direct his attention towards the fact it's not his money and life is worth more than protecting other people's nickels and dimes. I hear mumbling towards the back, so I shout, "You hang up the fucking phone or I'll slice you like some cattle and reverse sear you from head to toe." You can't reverse time, so I look him directly in his eyes, tell him I'm the Grim Reaper, and everything I touch dies. Back to the cashier, who is just hysterical, I put a bullet between his eyes and finish emptying out the cash register. I grab the keys to the back office and empty out the unlocked safe. Smash the videotapes, reload before I see 2 more customers walk in through the front entrance. Sirens in the backdrop, so I better finish these clowns off quickly, then vanish. Plans changed. 5-0 sparks a shooting spree. Bullets travel aimlessly. Filthy pigs slaughtered like in a factory. I hear more and more sirens in the distance, so I better make a rational decision, gather my things and sprint out the back door. So again and again, it's me versus the rest of the world. Oh Lord, I don't need your help anymore. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Contrast.
Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 2 of a 5-part series. Chapter 3 is titled Contrast. This scenery is beautiful. My viewfinder captures its aesthetic. Under the enlarger, I put a high filter and set it. It's ready. Those pure black and whites captivate my imagination. I'm drawn to the contrast, knowing the color spectrum is deceptive. I point my camera at the sky and remind my mind, it'll be gray at any time. See, you can burn and dodge any photograph. But when you dodge what you believe in, you'll be burned every time. I tell myself these simple parables to prepare my eyes for the lies. Black and whites only work in photography because the rest of the world cries in gray skies. We all walk that same thin line. We try to justify evil with evil and hope we tightrope to the brighter side. Make that thin line into a noose and hang ourselves until we die. I'm just so sick of society telling me morality triumphs evil, regardless of the crime. My brother died 2 weeks ago in a convenience store massacre and the culprit still hasn't been found. I've told the cops a handful of times. It's that delinquent, Billy Brooks, who hangs around the store late every night, pestering every single customer saying, "You give me $1 and I'll spare your life." They just don't listen though. They say I need proof. They say they can't arrest someone based on intuition and hope. But I know, fuck believe me, I know. And Billy, you're mine. I know your new hangout and I'll see you tonight around 9 with a handgun and a shovel, because after your bloodbath, I'll let you rest in your casket as I bury your capsule deep within the planet, dead or alive. Dead or alive. Dead or alive. Dead or alive. Come on, man, time's ticking. Hurry your ass up. Life is a joke. Life is a joke. Yet priests still spew their jokes on stage, telling us there's good in humanity, and every human being has a chance to grab happiness, and every argument doesn't mean we have to bleed out in an ambulance and end up in a body bag. Bullshit. I spit on the faces of those comedians who try to convince me this world isn't evil. This world is run by evil men, and I'm a man about to hunt a man who deserves what he has coming, and no man can tell me otherwise. Are you ready? I ask my brother's friend, who equally wants retribution. We take off on foot to where he and his crew's new hangout is. An alleyway, behind a food and liquor store. How fitting. I mumble under my breath. He's probably waiting for me with a .40 in his right hand and a pistol in his left. An irresponsible drunk who hopefully misses up. The sun's down, and I bet his spine is shivering. He's waiting for me, and death is certain for one of us. I bet we're outnumbered, but fuck it. I'm a straw man with 2 fists to fight. Throw the sharks my red herrings and hope they take a bite. Which I most certainly know they will. And I may want to kill Bill, but I'm not the Black Mamba. This isn't Hollywood, and revenge isn't scripted and acted until every single angle is captured on my camera. I know this could very well be my last hour on this terrible planet, but my brother needs to know either his killer or I will be joining him 6 feet under the gravel. It's kind of funny in a miserable way. I was a terrible little brother with an attitude problem, but blood is blood, and when one bleeds out, we'll find a way to stitch you up because we'll always care for one another. I truly loved you, big bro. It shouldn't take death for me to shout out, I'm sorry, but I was stubborn and immature, and I truly never knew what a loss can do to a man's soul. I promise you, though, I'll make Billy suffer, even if it's the last thing in my control.
Billy! 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 Billy!
I'm going to fucking kill you!
I had nothing to do with it, man. I told the cops everything I know. BB, reasonable, please. Oh, dear God, please. Look, man,
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Sounds like we've run out of time.
You don't have time. You don't have
Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Run. Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 2 continued of a 5-part series. Chapter 4 is titled Run. I remember that night vividly. After we shot Billy Brooks multiple times, one in the leg and one in the head, we booked through the alleyway towards the park and decided we'll use Jason's friend's apartment as a hideout until the situation cooled off. It was 1.5 miles away, and we knew we needed a miracle. This wasn't going to be a simple sprint, rather, 2 junkies limping a marathon. We thought we had justice on our side, and if there was a God, he would guide us through the nooks and crannies and decide we were the innocent and we should survive. Though there is no mythical shepherd guiding us through the valley of darkness. Take Noah, for example. He picked and chose who to save based on God's discretion, and the rest were left there to die, washed away in a truly asinine surprise. It's all just a big fat lie, in case you never realized. Justice is a fake resolution to any situation that you think deserves a second conclusion to rationalize your misleading ways. But my advice is submissive as I begin to dig my grave. We stopped running and planted our feet behind what seemed to be an abandoned flower shop store and waited until we heard the sirens pass us, like we're escaping death by the grips of our teeth. Silence. The night seized for what seemed to be the most delectable feeling, like maybe if I just stand here forever, the world would forget about me, and I can continue living worthlessly in my pathetic existence.
Let's go.
Jason whispers with an impatient tone. I tell him to hold on and keep your head down. Footsteps increase with every deep breath I take. I can feel the shadows creeping towards me, closer and closer and closer.
What is your current location?
The sound of a police radio. We jet through the weeds, over a fence, a mad dash to the intersection of the Sunrise apartment complex, a hard right, the final kilometers, up the stairs, unlock the door, and breathe. My heart's bleeding, and a simple heart replacement won't repair the agony that my heartless actions just conceived. This has to be make-believe. Or maybe I shouldn't breathe. Maybe I should force myself to suffocate in my sorrow, get down on my knees and pray, beg for forgiveness, or never take a deep breath again. I'm not so sure I can justify taking a life, and by the way my knees are shaking, I'm guessing I'm the lamb. I should leave the murder to those cold-blooded animals that enjoy getting blood on their hands and smearing it all over their mischievous chins. Fuck me, Lord. I'm dead. Throw me in a casket and bury me away with my sins. I'm dead. Throw me in a casket and bury me away with my sins. This world is over every morning when my tears form an ocean. Cut every single vein and drain my blood until the sea sees my pain and the water parts away today. But there is no Moses, and the underworld has awoken. Turn your staff into a serpent. Show the Pharaoh that the plague's an illusion from the poison. Cut the vein again to drain the venom and awake. Awake.
Wake up, wake the fuck up.
Jason screams at me. I must have fallen asleep in grief of my bleeding conscience. I'm awake, sadly alive within this living nightmare. I'm desperate and conflicted between killing a man and going to prison. My brother needed retribution, or maybe I should have just minded my own business. I don't know. I'm alone in the hypnopompic, surrounded by virtual realities I wish I could revisit, instead of facing the fuzzy realism that you are what your actions are and no lucid dream can change what you've become. I'll always wake up and I'll still be a saddened killer with a finger and a trigger I didn't have to pull. No form of atonement can change the moment of omen, because the self-loathing of murder can never empty the ocean of bodies stored away in the way back of my closet. I tried becoming a diamond, but I know I'm forever a coal in an open casket burning inside, till I die. I lay on my back and stare at the sun. I imagine a me who doesn't fear terror and run. I play Tetris with the clouds and recreate myself living in an alternative universe. Every little grain of sand is so crystal clear, it's so majestic and beautiful, but a plane passes through and destroys my imagination. I refocus on the sun, but my retinas start bleeding. I take the murder weapon and point it directly at my temple, almost as if Billy's standing in front of me, making me beg for my life. You can have it, Billy, I'm not going to beg. Pull the motherfucking trigger and send me on a journey. Let me garner a guest pass to heaven so I can tell my brother how upset I am with him that he left me. I love you so much, and I wish I could tell you that directly. Life is a bullet, and the good men are human silhouette target deadbeats. Jason. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled 12.
Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 3 of a 5-part series. Chapter 5 is titled 12. I haven't had a drink in 12 long years, a year for every step I took. Well, fuck 12 steps. Remembering that part of me still meditates my memory, and I gravitate my energy towards ending things peacefully. Optimistic folks can't comprehend an extra step takes me to that perfect place. One beer for every step I take. Ironic, huh? When the final step leads me back to the palace of the 12-pack stacked so perfectly. I'm back in my fortress where I know I'm safe. It's been a long time, but window shopping never caused any window panes. Focus. I pick up a bottle of Tito's and remember the days. It was euphoric. Sort of like Aurora Borealis, gorgeous as the poetic colors poured out my brain, till the blackness plays charades and I'm left shouting out Billy's name again. Rinse and repeat till the tremors make me drop. I flee the scene again. Thankfully the doctors caught it early, but I'm ashamed to say, I'm wasting away in a body that's dying, and I'm sort of going insane. Just focus and breathe. Now head over to the frozen foods section and choose between Jack's and Tombstone. Too soon to be making death jokes. Headstone reads, Motherfucking Father of the Year. Now pick up a bottle of Powerade and pay, before the night terrors keep me up for days. Just focus, please. I feel like I'm a zombie in a comedy, a Shaun of the Dead sort of mocker. Add in some elements of a documentary and call me a pessimistic realist who completely understands the audience is laughing at the irony. And god damn it, there's that feeling again. It's hard to explain. I'm mixed with fire and gasoline with a fuse that was lit a quarter mile away. My heart is racing, hands are shaking, fingertips are numb, and my Xanax has been empty for a couple of days. I begin to further panic, unrationalized in horror, more sweat beads down my brow, and I'm begging the Lord. But for what? What have you done? Well, fuck your 12 steps, I'm so obviously cursed. I run back to my fortress, where I know I'm safe, grab the Tito's, twist the cap, and chug half the bottle before I realize everything is being captured by the security tapes. I take another sip, look up and shout, Billy, I'm sorry. I'm the person to blame. I'm sorry. I'm the person to blame. I'm sorry. I'm the person to blame. Well, let's go. I explore the solace under the moonlight, trying to escape the somber hiding inside my well-being. Silence in the evening doesn't lessen the monsters creeping inside my subconscious, even when I strengthen my armor with a used needle and some heroin. I'm a hero to those people who are too scared to see that sitting in darkness doesn't yield those superhuman abilities that people like me achieve by openly taking on the opium and injecting into your veins. So don't you ever call me a Debbie Downer. I delve into my supply and immediately feel calmer. I feel sorry for those heartaches who think they rather enjoy speeding up their hearts and tearing it apart with some ecstasy or methamphetamine. Take a hit and ride the clouds. Every ounce of pain is weightless, and the scars I chiseled in my arms seem faded the more and more I destroy myself. But, deservingly so, I was a neglectful father who deserves an apocalypse to dictate my entire personality. So fuck it. Let's experience the color spectrum through a whole different odyssey. Just a couple of more, just a couple of more, just a couple of more, I swear, just a couple of more, I swear, just a couple. I'm on a trip and I'm not sure it's a pleasant one. To skip the present and forget the past. One must stick their head through a black hole and attempt to pull it back. But I can't, and I can't, and I can't. My mind splits in half as I battle the fact that I was once a dad, who'd rather neglect his son and pretend you're allowed to be selfish, because the world is yours and you only have one chance. So enjoy, but I can't, and I can't, and I won't. Billy, I let you run wild like a lion on the loose, and you got yourself caught in situations you couldn't break through. I'm going to hide behind the sun and cast a shadow on my soul. It's been a dozen years or so since you died, and I tried to redeem myself. My eyes, they were wide to the person I must become. And every day since, I applied this knowledge and survived the nonsense. It's a pity, but in hindsight, I'm a better person for losing you. Because in those 12 years, your death still lingers in those dark skies. Like the stars, you appear faded until the anniversary of your zodiac sign. Your death still lingers in those dark skies. Like the stars, you appear faded like the stars until the anniversary of your zodiac sign. Until the anniversary. It's midnight. I'm sober. This night isn't over. Midnight. Fuck it. I'm crazy. Hand me the pipe and we'll speed up the crazy. Well, I'm paradoxical in paradise. I'll paraphrase my paradigm. Apparently a pattern's installed deep inside my pair of eyes. I see what I want to see. I am what I want to be. So I see myself being a paramount of everything. I can do no wrong when my sights zero into purgatory. I marry my habits in a sinister manner. It's a matter of time till my madness masters its mission. I'm back in this panic. A man attached to his sadness. A glimmer of sunshine. But we both know the horizon is damaged. The fog, the fog, the fog, the fog, the fog. So does anybody know what it feels like to die? I'm inside of this flesh with a soul so perplexed. I say goodbye to those feelings I harvest under my breath, because the storm in my head is foreshadowing death. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Caged. Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 3 continued of a 5-part series. Chapter 6 is titled Caged. Be a ghost and lose all focus. Hollow men hide in clothing in plain sight with broken moments. Grimace thoughts with no emotions. No emotions? Somewhere in this body lies a soul that's been stolen. I remember my son and the promise I told him. While looking at his capsule, I wish he'd have noticed, but the message was stuck in the bottle and lost in the ocean. Lost in the ocean? You waited until your son died before you became sober. You let him drown in your sins and choke on your shoulders. Stop trying to reconcile your past and fully embrace your disorder. Fuck to sleep. I'm wide awake. The night before has me caged. In my cage, I feel safe. It's safe to say. The norm is to conform and exonerate. We talk about the zeitgeist and feel great, but the zeitgeist in hindsight is just a way to feel brave. And when the time's right, we close our mind and feel the pain. We let them in so they can steal our brain. They plant their landmines and step away. You step back on your thoughts and now you're homeless without a cage. Feel safe, huh? You shouldn't have questioned the answers if the problem wasn't relevant. Now get up from your drunken state, because the drunk tank tape tastes just like sobriety. It's in bad taste, like the words you waste. Your tongue can taste the blood from your bleeding lungs. Now breathe. Feel better? Huh? Now take a sip and let's proceed. We have some catching up to do. Last night was a start, but tonight's the night we dig your grave. A shot to the head can be figurative or literal, but a shot to the head will definitely change your peripherals. You figure a couple shots to the head will make you feel liberated, so a couple more shots and you'll feel invisible. And so it starts to where you're stuck in Punxsutawney and every day's the same, to where suicide seems like a suitable state. Instead of this purgatory you play a part in, before you're embedded into hell with a bleeding heart and an empty coffin. Forget all those parables. It's clear chemicals dictate my miracles in a smoke and mirrors sort of stereotype. Genotypes like mine require a couple more, a couple more, a couple more. Forget the cups and grab the bottle from the handle. Tackle this dilemma like a true champion and down every last drop until the medicine works. It's magic to where you can't even complete a full fucking sentence. Let your consciousness leak out of your eyelids and out into the public. Let the world know they've created a monster. Open the door and show them you're a typhoon and Mount Olympus is your target. First, how about you grab your wallet? You have a few more bucks in there. To spend it wisely, you need a few more beers and a vodka tonic. Good. Now grab your keys and let's get going. In a little bit, I'll be gone. You'll be mush, and we'll both let the alcohol take over. Now don't you feel better? Now don't you feel better? Why dwell on the past if there isn't a heaven and there isn't a devil to respond to one's wrath? We live and we die and are forgotten forever. We live and we die and are forgotten forever. Satisfied from those crooked lines, mortified murders perfect every time, mercy, martyrdom, murky mountains that we climb, mystic waters, mission, morbid boarded portals where we hide. The road is a paradigm, broken patterns, big disasters, master tactics get denied. It's a perfect crime, lose all senses, mental tested head in sections, time progresses, scattered brains in the soil. It's a sign. Liquor store a block away, steady hands, heavy head, ready heavens, medley, grab a bottle, 20 bucks, take a sip and drive, stale green, yellow, red, medium, up ahead, flashing lights, oh so bright, never stop, keep it up, reach the stars, every night, faster, 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 and we faster. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Crash.
Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 4 of a 5-part series. Chapter 7 is titled Crash. My house of cards is just a breath stroke away from tipping over. And if it's over, don't you say it, because your breath takes my words away and makes me homeless. I panhandle for your lust, but I'm stuck with awkward glares and empty stares with a realization that this nightmare is our actual marriage. Emily, my one true love, Emily. Wait, what? I never told you about Emily, my high school sweetheart that I've known since elementary. Secrets are sacred, and my head is severed in pieces. But god damn it, you know exactly how to seize my freedom. You bitch. Well, she was beautiful. The sun glistened off her perfection, and without a shadow of a doubt, she casted storm clouds in my mind, making me decide for myself if I'm worthy or not. Unconditionally, our love was impossible to clog, with our beating hearts so strong we could live forever if time were irrelevant and allowed us to carry on. We were inseparable immediately, seconds after meeting in 5th grade, Mr. Clark's class all the way up until she died that one somber Friday evening. We had plans. Tragic, I know, and I won't bore you with the cliches, but it was going to be another boring night. Just her and I. Chinese food and a bottle of Chardonnay. Sounds nice, doesn't it? It's something that we used to do. You put on a mask, but that mask starts to crack when you wear it every day. Emily's mom's voice was faded. It was jaded from all the crying. I was hanging on to every last word as she was stalling. I knew the news was clearly terrible. With each syllable, she became more and more hysterical, until she whispered,
"She's dead."
and then all I heard was crackle in the dial tone. I froze up and shut down from every single ligament in my skeleton. A drunk driver and a head-on collision, indecisive minutes, and a hospital visit. Though useless as I watched the rain trickle off the ceiling, I wanted to bottle it, turn it into wine, and swallow my feelings. I just wanted to hold on to you one last time, and not your reflection. The water in the sea ripples, dimples in your face, and distorts my perception of you. But as time moved forward, you became just another ghost without a reflection. Imageless, like a canvas without beauty or perspective. Relationships started and ended. Breakups turned me into a skeptic. I was upset with myself that I couldn't find anyone special. So I settled, and that's how I found you. It's not romantic, but it's a comedy. And the joke is, you're a part of the irony. But we both know who fooled who. And I loved you. I did. But love runs out when you drink from a shallow cup. And I knew I had enough. So bliss is arrogance, and my ego told me never to stop. Till death do us part. To the broken heart is to reject damaged moments and further rip it apart. You say marriage is forever? I say you're full of shit. Marriage is a trip to the morgue and my cadaver is ripped and stitched, torn to bits, until my ashes are worthless and I'm forgotten to my lover's lips. Here's a twist. I'll grab a body bag before I die and make you spend an eternally with this pathetic kid. Make you wish life on earth is better lived without a love to kiss. Maybe that's what till death do us part means. A lover jumps off a bridge just to prove you're nothing without your lover's grip. I used to see you everywhere. Let's call it apophenia. With a frown, it's hysterical. And I can't escape the sound of your tears, cause I stare at your fears, knowing you're aware of the affair, and it's mania. I felt so guilty, but it felt so right, knowing our love was a mistake and I was a selfish fuck with a gun held up to your helpless face. I tried to hide the deception and fix the foundation, but the cracks in our relationship were beyond replaceable. I just had to tell you the truth, explaining why our love was in shambles, like a chandelier that shattered when I finally concluded you no longer mattered. Your desires were just sympathy, begging for my empathy. Your only thought of happiness was in the form of imagery, but an image is just a prayer that God never answered. You couldn't animate your emotions to give you the realism that everything was fucking fantastic. Logic, fallacies, fabricated memories of fucking like enemies, and here we are. Even after 2 kids and all the ups and downs of supporting my failed writing career, I just had to be honest and tell you how I really felt. But please don't pretend you're not responsible, that we grew apart, because we both sit here with a sunken heart. It's hard to admit it's over, but true love is a farce from the start. We kill ourselves and can't realize loneliness leaves us better off. You can try and ignore it. You can try and rationalize the horror with memories you've distorted. Replay them in your head and feel the rigor mortis till the bitter end. It's those days when hell seems pleasant, when the devil seems pleased you're visiting his palace. His sadistic voice, telling me I'm worthless. His twisted words, pulling hell a little bit closer. My sickening choice between being sober but I'm lonely and pathetic. A man made of depressants, satanic and candid. A man attached to his sadness. It must be the writer in me, emotional when my tears bleed ink off the page. You grabbed our youngest, our sweet, sweet baby girl, and drove off to a motel in the middle of the night. I shouted your name, Abigail, but to no response. I called your cell phone twice, Abigail, but you didn't pick up. I was pacing, my heart was racing. Our children were the glue that held us together. A struggling marriage with a financial crisis. Writer's block and secrets like cancer. I called you again and you shouted,
"You're an asshole!"
then quickly hung up. I tried calling you a 4th time, but it never reached you. The dial tone lingered in the night, well past its welcome, as the last thing my daughter and wife saw were headlights, as a drunk driver crossed the median in a head-on collision. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Sacrifice. Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 4 continued of a 5-part series. Chapter 8 is titled Sacrifice. "26 letters, and I still can't form the words. I can turn vowels and consonants into masterpieces, manipulate the alphabet to compose proses with complicated metaphors, but like the American keyboard, I'm disarranged on the surface. My saddened thoughts come to life when my fingers type another nonsensical story. So what should I write about today? Some overdramatic tale about a pathetic father who sacrificed his family's life to chase his hopes and dreams? I don't know, maybe. Or how about a serial killer like Jeffrey Dahmer, an anti-hero in my eyes with a personality disorder? I can relate. My mood swings like a pendulum hanging in the night. I feel sorrow for hours. I'll be inspired tomorrow, and that's when I decide to write. My story is never ending as long as the misery bleeds out on the page, and I feel the need to scream, but I can't. So I chisel a paragraph, then I rinse and repeat until there's nothing left to read, and I'm gone. I'm completely lost at sea. Who will sing my song with those soft, sweet melodies that put me to sleep? Maybe my dead wife's spirit who monopolizes my dreams, or my dead daughter who couldn't even reach the age of 3. It's hopeless. I grab my laptop and just stare at an empty screen. A blank Word document has never looked so bleak. In the darkness, the whiteness doesn't illuminate my brain. It's like seconds before a power outage, when a lighting strike lights up the stage. Contradictory with a light-headed daze. I type the first word, sacrifice, then I quickly delete. I type it again, followed by the words, "An offering to get into hell is when you'll find peace." I quickly delete. I type sacrifice one last time, followed by the words, "Your feelings are when you'll find faith." Copy and paste throughout the page, and maybe I'll be saved. Turn the computer off, look up, and offer my grace. See, a spray can is mayhem. Graffiti is Satan. To say the writings on the wall is saying the obvious is evil. The Bible, written on papyrus and therefore our Savior, is like saying everything good derives from a book that is ancient. Bullshit. The Bible's the culprit that strangles our feelings. It compromises our intuition and unleashes our hatred. You want to see through God's eyes? Well, you got to hate other people. But God loves all his children. Yeah, if you bow, pray, and worship his being. Well, is that so much to ask for? It is, and this man definitely isn't a guardian angel. I'm calling DCFS and I'll let them figure out his angle. Because he's crooked with his actions, but acute with his reasons. He's not sure if he wants to be a square, rhombus, quadrilateral, etc., whatever. More like a pyramid scheme, and we're his investors. I'm out of options and I'll take you up on your offer. The walls are closing in and I'm suffocating. Maybe I'm in Valhalla and I'm sacrificed, but I'm a sacrilegious relic, and I'm praying Odin or a medic can re-establish this skeptic and make me a sacramental member in battle. Helheim is no place for a warrior like me. Let me dine with my brothers, and we'll fight for you in Ragnarok until the war is won, and we both sit victorious upon our final resting place. I'll die for you if it means I'll have an afterlife that matters. Send down Jacob's ladder so I can climb it and live happily ever after. Don't give me these scare tactics. I was a good Christian that just happened to lose faith. When you distorted my eyeglasses, I hid from the sun because my eyeballs weren't looking for answers. I took the shades off and realized faith is believing the light will come back and harvest our questions. We will both rise every morning and fall as the horizon changes our perspective. We both turn a blind eye as the night turns good men into horrid creatures as they feast on their prey's carcass, to teach us a lesson absent of reason. Maybe because faith allows us to see the light at the end of the tunnel, we can funnel out the nonsense and focus on the process of reaching the heavens forever. Our body's a capsule to which it's held captive. This world is a kidnapper, and we need to escape the hideaway before our spirit is murdered on this truly fucked up planet. It's madness. Sadness in my bones has to mean it's cancer. Parkinson's? I'll deteriorate and you'll see my cells are sentenced to passing. Or maybe it's sarcoidosis. God is a foreign entity, and my body's trying to protect me from its poison. Evil moments. Why would you want to walk on this land without a greater power extending his hand and showing you the sacred part in his head? It's over. Show me the way and justify your omens. You took what I loved and can't even justify your actions. I'm supposed to be blind with a slight sense of satisfaction. Give me a sign that all this was supposed to happen. I'm assuming you can't, and all this is a tactic to get me to show you my weaknesses and confront you directly. I talk so much shit, but my man, I used to respect you. But god damn it, you crossed the line, so you're right. I will see you in person. Give me a minute to pull the trigger and say goodbye to this planet. I'm earnest with murder. I'm hemming my demons way back in these closets. I'm taking this bullet and drilling a portal back to the Garden of Evil. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Hearts.
Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless, Part 5 of a 5-part series. Chapter 9 is titled Hearts. When you're cold, the only jacket you'll need is metal, the perfect conductor to heat up your bones. And remember, you're born to kill until there's nothing left to surrender, and you're a robot not knowing yet you are a weapon. Shoot me, or I'll be your director. Stanley Kubrick calling cut right through your mental. I need a direction to walk to fix my dimension. This dementia of mine is deceptive to reality. My script is futile, so let me change the scenery. Let it be summer, autumn, winter, whatever. You cut the springs and fall back into a bad screenplay. Give it to Michael Bay and let him turn gold into a bad action movie. It doesn't really matter because the problem remains the same. It's me. I could be incredibly cryptic or indecisive and simple. Either way, I'm batting 0 without a single at bat to my name. I enjoy sitting on the bench, and when the manager puts me in the game, I scream. I was always known as the kid with the broken home, a suicidal father with a mother and a sister left for dead on those harsh and crooked roads. Orphan Boy was my pseudonym. That suited well for a psycho kid that bounced around an orphanage like a bunch of whores at a brothel home. Empty phrases mean nothing when the scars you show are so predominant. Be original, you stupid fuck, and call me something relevant. I have a callus on my heart, and it's beautiful. A bulletproof vest that protects me from all this insanity. I like to take a knife and slice my chest in half and admire the strength I have to breathe again. Broken. I'll be so fucking broken if I didn't steal the hearts of 100 men. So, why am I so scared to take a fucking chance? Maybe it's because I'm so fucking immune to death that taking a chance on anything just doesn't make any fucking sense. On Earth, we're guaranteed a ride in a hearse and nothing else. We're forced to play our role until we get old and useless, and the world forgets our contributions were once important that were scorned, and no one gives a shit about the person before them. So I take that pressure, while the rest of the world moves fluid, and I harness the heat of the mantle's high temperature and turn into a diamond that never breaks, while the rest of the people incinerate into ash and dissipate when the wind scatters the remaining ounce of integrity they had left. And their hearts, it's empty, full of cynicism and regret, and I sit in the back of the classroom just laughing at their expense, knowing I was once one of them, until I realized I'd rather have a black hole in my chest than have a heart with an arrow gushing through it, symbolizing my pathetic and overdrawn death. I always take advice with a grain of salt, but it always seems to bite me in the heart when you salt the wound, but eventually heal when you clot the doom. But another round of excoriation makes me grab the bottle from the table, pour it on my scars to stop the bleeding. The whole container is my savior, though my demons are my fingers, that I use to tie a noose around the ceiling, grab a rope and feel the fibers, feel the bristles tear my nails. It's the pain that keeps me moving. Danger's present, heaven's waiting, God is Satan, and it's mayhem, but he can wait 'cause I'm still breathing. And every breath I take just means my heart is beating. I'll never give that up, 'cause I'll never be defeated until my soul is in the soil, and the world knew oil fled my veins to keep my engine going. So, here's a poem, I just wrote it. Little boy on a mission to his home. Minutes ticking, which direction shall he go? Left or right, straight ahead or down the road. In the cold, he stands frozen at the intersection all alone. Or how about this haiku? I wrote it just for you. Dear Father, how's hell? You pathetic bitch, fuck you. I am glad you're dead. You were a writer. I figured you would appreciate that. It's a little rough around the edges, but I assume you get the gist. Basically, you're a pathetic coward and I know life is shit. But when you have obligations, you have to take care of it. You're sick to leave your son abandoned, stranded on this earth trying to figure out why he's an outcast and a misfit. I'm like a Rubik's Cube, crafted with zirconia, pseudo, nexus, a neurotic niche, anemic, cryptic, and full of arithmetic. It's a mystic myth. I'm full of shit. Diamonds are more elaborate, but lack any relevance. We're hideous. A man can incinerate in his own elements, but never incarcerate. It's his medicine to shake it off and continue with his carbon shape. I'm fake, thanks to you. I'm a man without an identity, but it's in my mentality that I become a better man than you could ever even dream to be. I'm awake, in the form of a zombie, filled with heartache, so try and escape. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. The next chapter is titled Helpless. Welcome to Severed Heads, written and created by William Goodman. This story is called The Hearts of the Helpless. Part 5 continued of a 5-part series. Chapter 10 is titled Helpless. Cynical, like the sins that grow in the winter. Splinters like the little matchstick girl dying with the last flickers. Bitter from all the lucky children that get to question what's under the tree on Christmas Eve. Aging out at the age of 18. Like Martin Luther, I had a dream last night. On the other side of the road was my family in shelter. They shouted baby steps, so I took the first few with caution. Cars zipped by, so I ran back with exhaustion. The smell from the exhaust pipes damaged my nostrils. They started to get impatient. Run, 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 they shouted. So I did, and the inevitable happened. In the ice crystal streets, the eyes of the beast leaves you begging you're the king of the castle and feel safe. But I'm weak in the legs, and I just know this is the end of the road for this bastard. I'm gasping for air as I stare at my family that's just sitting there aware and laughing. I'm soaked in my blood, and I look up for answers. Nothing, of course. Then I closed my eyes and awoke on my 18th birthday. I'm on my own now, kid. I better grow up before I'm left slaughtered like a deer in some headlights. Three goddamn years later. I'm sitting in a 4-corner room and the walls are crashing in. Maybe Ran has captured me because I'm beginning to sink. Under the floorboards where the foundation is weak, and as I leak into the ocean, I realize one thing. I'm a soluble who enjoys the solitude of being a hydrophilic molecule that gets to dissipate, blend in with my surroundings and never resonate, because when it comes to being alone, I never hesitate. It's how I meditate. I jump inside my skull and swim upstream where my nerves fight the current to migrate with the world and satiate. Besides, I have the voices in my head to keep my head on straight. But what happens when the voices in my head tell me death is certain today? I fail to question if the voices in my head can be trusted, and I start to believe. And the cycle begins where I recycle the same old sayings. Boy, you're going to drown in your thoughts, so I pour myself a double shot of tequila. Maybe if I drown out the negatives, I can focus on what I really believe in. Boy, you're a loner that will never have confidence in your well-being. Another trip to the liquor store. I hand the cashier a $10 bill. I receive a 12-pack, take a sip of medicine and meditate. It's a sin to waste even a single drop, so I finish them off and run straight to the bathroom and throw them up. When my eyes awake, I shake as they wander in the distance. It's sort of like every corner of that room is alive as they create a feel of a horror film closing in, till my body parts are missing and adjacent, a scattered 12-pack, and a body that is lifeless. I look in the mirror, and it only reiterates my dissatisfaction. I know it's clear. Cowards quiver, quit, and crumble. Lullabies are mumbled, syllables are stuttered. Every time I wonder if this land is covered, I remember summer and all the joy from it. Like paradise, with these pairs of eyes is to perpetuate every parasite and colonize the populace until paradise is a paradox and I'll hide, usually in my severed state of mind, till thankfully I realize the world doesn't end if you close your eyes. But then again, why open them if it's dark outside? I'm so sick of subsidized housing and my job at a convenience store, making insufficient funds, working like a slave for a store owner I rather beat with a bat than hear what he has to say. A fucking imbecile with nothing in his brain. So what do I have to lose? If my life were a movie, this would be the part where the music turns eerie, suspenseful and overdramatic as the protagonist makes his decision that will impact his future. So I call on the piano and the horns to influence the mood. Let's throw in some blues and convolute the fuck out of this tune. It hasn't rained in forever, but now seems like the perfect time. Matter of fact, let's make it a downpour. It's perfect. Now someone has to die. Or has it all been a lie and I have to commit this crime without an orchestra by my side? Fuck it. Next thing you're going to tell me is the victim isn't a fucking retard, with terrible aim or a faulty shotgun who waits for me to shoot first. So basically, anything goes in the real world, the good die young, but so do the killers. The sinners win, lose, or draw, and the good guys don't always prevail. Sometimes they fail and just fall short, black screen, roll credits, and walk out the theater, and if I'm lucky, maybe I'll be someone's Rolo Tomasi one day. So fuck it. I grab my knife and proceed into the wild, my old place of work. Why not? I shout with an enthusiastic smile. I poke 3 holes in a plastic bag, 2 for the eyes, 1 for the mouth, kick open the door and shout, "You at the register, empty it out. Everyone else, hand me your fucking wallets," Pulp Fiction style, and if I catch a bad motherfucker, I'm going to light his ass on fire. I see 2 clowns in the back just laughing it up. I throw one up against the cooler glass, slice open his neck, say to the other one, "Throw what you got in the bag or you're so fucking next." Who's laughing now, bitch, as I hear sirens in the backdrop. Back off, kick open the back door, and from this point forward, I guess it's going to be me versus the rest of the world. Oh wait, I don't feel so helpless anymore. Thank you for listening to Severed Heads. This story was called The Hearts of the Helpless, created and written by William Goodman. Dedicated to my amazing mother, Marla Goodman, my incredible wife, Abigail Goodman, and my adoring son, Aiden Goodman. So until we meet again, my greatest friend, my severed head, amen.